Good morning, Ram fam, and welcome to this week's edition of the Saturday Spark, where I hopefully can give you a little training inspiration for your Saturday morning meeting. Listen, for those of you who watch the Spark, you were ready for the change that we saw in shoppers from the end of 2023, November and December, to the shopper that we saw in their showrooms now in January and February of 24. And one consistent, I don't care where I am in the country, a familiar shopper, our old friend, he's returned to the showroom, the payment shopper, they're back. After taking a back seat during the pandemic, these budget-conscious consumers are once again back. Why? Because everyone's been picking at their pocket. Inventory levels are gradually improving. Used car prices has been falling. OEMs are selectively putting out rebates and incentives, and inflation is on the rise. All of these factors have dragged our old friend back into the process. The payment shopper is focused on finding the best monthly payment and prioritizing that over a specific vehicle, brand, or even dealership loyalty. Inventory options, payment, price, and rate, that's their questions. So let's address them right up front and not hide from them. Let's take control of the conversation with confident communication, because this shopper is scared and nervous, and they buy a vehicle once every 3 to 5 years. And think about the last 3 to 5 years. They have a reason to be scared, and they want a professional to control this conversation. So be the one to take control. Drive the conversation with the right questions. So what questions you ask? Let's talk about inventory. Tell me about the Grand Cherokee that's important to you. Front wheel drive, all wheel drive, gas, diesel, hybrid, safety features, technology features. I care about you and what's important to you, and I write it all down. Next, have you had a chance to drive the new Grand Cherokee? Yes, no? What other vehicles are you considering? All of these questions that you're asking are telling you where the shopper is in the process. So now you got all that. Let's hook the trade, because you need the tools to move the customer through the price and payment conversation. The current vehicle you're driving, would you consider trading that in? Yes, fantastic. Can you tell me about it? I don't care what they say they're driving. You are excited for their trade because you have a market for their trade, and that is why your professional appraiser tends to pay more, sometimes a lot more, for a vehicle just like theirs. Then I want you asking for appointments. When would be a good time for us to get together? As a matter of fact, what are you doing right now? The customer is going to have objections, and you know there will be payment, price, or rate. You know it already, so be ready for it. No problem. Be in control, and you got this. So let's just catch the customer off guard. I'm so glad you asked about price, payment, and rate. I know my manager, when it comes to price, is going to do the best to give you the best price possible. As far as payment, you know the key factors that impact it are the value of your trade and interest rate. You already know we have a market for your current vehicle, and my appraiser tends to pay more, sometimes a lot more, for vehicles just like yours. So let's talk about the trade. I want you to know we have the best finance managers in the business. It's their job to get you the best rate possible. Especially today, interest rates are increasingly putting pressure on payments, and we work with the strongest banks across the country to help our clients every day make sure they feel a little less of that pressure that rates are putting on payments with everybody. So when would be a good time for you to get together to discuss this? As a matter of fact, what are you doing right now? That's it. We get over objections by being in control, having an agenda, know your inventory options, hook that trade, and be ready for the price, payment, and rate questions objections by letting the customer know if they to come to see you and your dealership, your team has their back and will fight for them. Get out there and crush it today. I'll see y'all next week. Good morning, Ram fam, and welcome to this week's edition of the Saturday Spark, where I hopefully can give you a little training inspiration for your Saturday morning meeting. I'm coming to you here from the Bishop Group in Northern Michigan. And this morning, I want to stay on topic with what is concerning all of you. And the feedback we're getting is you need to hear more about objections. It's what's holding you up. It's the biggest concern before getting on the phone. So let's talk about it and get into it. Alan always taught us price objections need to be treated as opportunities, not roadblocks. Because think about it. The customer reached out to you. They're engaging you. They have questions for you. They want to buy from you. You're the professional they expect to have the answers they haven't gotten from anywhere else, or maybe they need to confirm something they learned. And yes, trust me, I know there are always those guys who want to negotiate before coming in, but what do you expect? You're going to get on the phone and go, oh yeah, we have stock number 123 in stock. When can you be here? And the customer's just going to say, oh, I'm coming right in. I got $5,000 in cash, a 625 credit score. I make my payments on time, and I don't even care what you give me for my vehicle. Come on. What fantasy land are you living in? You know they are going to ask you about price, payment, rate, and inventory. So be prepared with the right information and attitude to turn price objections into positive conversations. The customer has all the anxiety, all the fear, which then naturally leads to them asking those concerns. So stop taking it personally, spin it positively. Get back in the game, show your customer you're the professional problem solver, working with them to solve their problems to buy their vehicle. When it comes to price questions, they asked about a price, not a discount. Do I need to say that again? They asked about price, not discount. Be upfront, transparent about pricing. It's on your website. Just like the OEMs, give the caller an accurate starting price. The Telluride starts at $36,000 for a base model and goes up from there depending on package and equipment you will ultimately choose. I'll be happy to walk through all those options with you step by step when we get together. When will be a good time for us to get together? As a matter of fact, what are you doing right now? Remember, most shoppers feel obligated to ask about the price before taking the next step. And every time they ask, it's great. You are now one step closer to converting them. So stay confident, in control, and be prepared. You have the tools to overcome every question a customer has. It's your job as a professional to advise and help them, build value in their experience, and help them make informed decisions. Follow these steps, you'll receive the trust that you deserve for working hard. With confident communication, you will always control the conversation and overcome any customer objection they throw your way. Get out there and crush it. I'll see you all next week. Oh, next week's in Texas. Good morning, Ram fam, and welcome to this week's edition of the Saturday Spark, where hopefully can give you a little training inspiration for your Saturday morning meeting. I'm coming to you from Vic Vaughn Toyota in the West Texas Hill Country just outside of San Antonio, and today I want to talk about an important sales tool, probably one of the best tools in your arsenal, and it's consistently treated as an annoyance. Voicemails. Yep, you heard me right. Those brief recordings that often go unanswered or unappreciated. But what if I told you that mastering the art of voicemails is all about the hook? Let me show you. Let's dive in. You're a potential car buyer. You've been browsing through listings, considering your options, but you haven't quite made up your mind. One day you get a voicemail from a salesperson at a dealership you've been eyeing. They don't just leave the same generic message wondering if I'm still in the market. Instead, you hear something compelling. It piques your curiosity. Suddenly, you're intrigued and you call back. What was it about that voicemail that captured your attention? Voicemails, they're powerful tools to get a quick, short message to the client, especially today when voicemails are transcribed and sent to your phone as a text. The voicemail is once again a powerful tool for building rapport and getting shoppers to pay attention to you. But to be effective, you need to be proactive and strategic. Here are the keys to every voicemail. First, bring energy and excitement. Low energy? It's never getting a call back. Next, keep it concise. No one cares to hear about you rambling on. 30 seconds or less. Introduce yourself, acknowledge the vehicle they're shopping for, keep them curious, and wrap it up with a call to action with your name and number. In the introduction, address the recipient by name. Reference the vehicle of interest and any previous interactions or inquiries they've made. This shows them that you are paying attention and care about their needs and preferences. Now, the hook. The element of curiosity that will capture their attention and leave them wanting more. 0% special lease offers, dealer exclusive sales, lifetime warranties, free maintenance, new inventory just arriving. This is about offering the customer something of value that separates you from the competition. It might be something you hear every day, but guess what? Your customer hasn't heard it. And frankly, you haven't had programs in so long. Get out, beat your chest, and brag. Come on. Finally, end your voicemail with a clear call to action. Invite the recipient to call you back at their earliest convenience because you don't want them to miss out, and provide an alternative way to connect, such as a text or a direct line. Make it easy for the customer to take the next step. The less friction, the better. I want you all to remember that the greatest weapon as a salesperson is curiosity. And the voicemail, it's an excellent platform to wield that ammunition. Make sure that the customer feels the excitement and that sense of urgency over the voicemail, and I guarantee you will get more calls returned. Get out there and crush it. I'll see you next week. Good morning, Ram fam, and welcome to this week's edition of the Saturday Spark, where I hopefully can give you a little training inspiration for your Saturday morning meeting. We have 1 week left in this month. 1 week left to take March that started slow, and now we're seeing that strong uptick. It's time to crush it. Tax refunds are starting to roll in. March Madness is here. The weather is kind of breaking. It's freezing here in New York. Customers still want to buy, and I want you all to close this month strong. But to do that, you need to sell from strength, especially with today's payment shopper. I was with my guy, Mike Romano, earlier this week. He has a Kia store kind of right across the water there in Westchester County. We're at the desk taking calls, making calls, supporting the staff through objection handling, and a salesperson comes up white as a ghost. Mike, I got a customer to tell you right, but he says he saw it $1,500 off on MSRP. I don't know what to do. Mike goes, what line is he on? Jumps on the phone with the customer. What's his name? Lamassa. Hey, Mr. Lamassa, congratulations. Jordan told me that you're calling about a Telluride that you saw for $1,500 under MSRP. It's great. Can you tell me where you saw that? Oh, the payment calculator on our website? Fantastic. Did you take advantage of some of the rebates offered by Kia? Perfect. Which ones did you take advantage of? Owner loyalty. Great. Hey, listen, thank you so much for being a loyal Kia owner. What model do you own? Oh, you're not a Kia owner? No worries. You don't qualify for owner loyalty. Kia requires you to have a Kia registered to your household. You're still $500 MSRP, which is awesome. What rebate was that one? Military. Wonderful. Thank you for your service. Oh, you didn't serve. You're a defense contractor. I'm sorry. Kia only offers this rebate to active duty or retired military. But the great news for you is you're still getting a Telluride for MSRP, which you know, because I know you've been out there shopping, is still a great price given the current demand in this market. Plus, I have the one you're looking at in stock, and I have several more for you to choose from when you get here. Let me ask you, the current vehicle you're driving, is that something you'd consider trading in? Boom! Guys, listen, that is selling from strength. That's having the confidence in your program knowledge, pricing knowledge, inventory knowledge, and knowledge in the market you're selling every day. I know you know all these things, but you don't know it well enough to speak with confidence to a customer, no matter what version of the 4 questions you get asked these days. Price, payment, rate, inventory, that's it. That's the questions you're asking. So get ready for it. I want you to have the confidence to sound like you got through this with this customer, not struggling, because you're strong. You have the confidence, you have the knowledge to power through with strength, that you are smarter than this customer and that you are going to help them and get them the best advantage to do the objection of every sales call and drive the customer into the showroom. All I want to hear on phone calls this week and going beyond is confident salespeople and BDC agents controlling the conversation, because you know you are selling from strength. You have the control. Don't give it back to the customers. Get out there and crush it. Let's close this month strong, and I'll see you next week. Good morning, Ram fam, and welcome to this week's edition of the Saturday Spark, where hopefully can give you a little trading inspiration for your Saturday morning meeting. All right, team, it's the last weekend of the month, and you know what that means. We keep this meeting short, to the point, and focus on one aspect that's going to help you sell a few more vehicles that you didn't plan on. And the best way to do that with just a few hours left in this month is by focusing on the unsold showroom customer. The hottest prospects to buy a car from you store today are the customers who left your showroom and did not buy. There is a huge opportunity to follow up with them and get them back in. Once the customer leaves the store, you lose the advantage. You need to take it back. Alan always taught the difference between making deals and missing deals is knowing what to say. And the fact is, most salespeople do not follow up with unsold showrooms because they do not know what to say next. They feel like they left it all on the table. And those who do rarely have an effective game plan or strategy. That's why managers, this needs to be your job. The customer needs another voice, a voice of authority to close the deal. But this is also a learning opportunity to overcome objections. So I want you to make sure your salesperson is at your side while you're making this call. So depending on the store, you have today, possibly tomorrow, to close every deal you can. So right after this meeting, every salesperson needs to bring you their lowest hanging B-backs. And pre-owned, that's got to be your first priority. Now, managers, call the customer and teach by doing. Show how you connect the dots. Control the phone call to get the real objections. Keep the client off the defensive. Properly outline the benefits of doing business with your dealership and overcome objections to get the customer back in the showroom. You're missing opportunities to do more business, but also educate your team. You need to be convincing, confident, and sell from strength. You have the programs, you have the inventory. They came to you. Now just reel them back in. Show your team how you're always prepared for whatever the customer is going to throw your way. Show them your game plan to get that customer back in the showroom. That is what's going to help you sell more vehicles that you didn't plan on between now and the close. We lay it all out in the unsold objections and how to overcome them, page 64 to 76 of the ADAPT manual, and in your file vault. Finally, if you have a glut of specific models, managers, create a special price. Get everyone to call. Use voicemail as your megaphone. Call those customers who submitted a lead on a specific vehicle, create a great price for those vehicles, and get those customers back in the showroom. We got a little bit of time left. Let's crush this close. I'll see you next week.